Marcellus, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
Time to worry about Jimmy G as a franchise quarterback.
Time to worry? Not enough good evidence out there for us not to panic. I mean, if you think about who he is, you don't even know what that is. He's not played a full NFL season, even though you would try to combine and extrapolate 3 seasons of performance to get to almost half of a real regular season game. The deal was premature, which set absurd expectations for a player who we don't know who he is. And I'm the eternal optimist. I always like to think up for a player, especially with his talent and skill set. But I'm voting this down. If you ask me, is it time to panic? I don't even know where we got those expectations.
Contract.
Where we got those expectations based on his body of work to think that he was going to be greater than what we're seeing right now. Let's talk about when he returned after he won the 5 games in San Francisco, came back before the injury. 59% completion percentage, sacked 13 times, roller coaster ride before injury. So I think everything about his career so far has been premature, and it's time for us to panic if you ever had those great expectations of him.
I don't think it's time to panic. I think you had a situation where, I mean, he was being pressured like crazy. I mean, he didn't have a clean pocket. And then the knee. The knee is a bigger problem than what he's making it out to be. You can see as he was jittering through the pocket in a couple of those plays, he's not fully confident in that, no matter what he says. This hasn't been a full year yet. You're talking about a major, major surgery injury. So I don't think it's time to panic yet. Maybe if we get deeper into the season and he still hasn't come around, it's time to panic. But right now you have injury and it's the preseason. I remember when I played for the Steelers. Like, we had a horrible game. These boys ran the ball all up and down the field in Buffalo. Couldn't believe it. We still ended up being number 1 defense. So it's the preseason. I wouldn't panic. That's just my opinion.
Here's the thing, and I agree with you. I think there's a couple of things. Anytime you're coming off an injury, you have to set an expectation for yourself. It's not the physical part that's hard to come over or get over after an injury. It's the mental part. It's from the neck up. And so you have to reestablish whatever my 100% is. Like, I may be 80% of what I used to be, but that's my new 100%. And I've got to be okay with going out there and performing with my new 100% level. The only way you learn how to do that is by doing it. You can talk about it, but you cannot get comfortable playing after an injury until you've played after that injury. So this was the first step in becoming comfortable. You're right. He was pressured on all those plays. He got 2 balls tipped at the line of scrimmage. So he had a couple of those things that went down. Here's the other thing. There is no game planning going on right now. And if you look at Kyle Shanahan is a great game planner. Matt Ryan won an MVP when Kyle Shanahan was the coordinator, because not only the game plan, but he gets to play in with about 25 seconds left. And so he's talking to the quarterback all the way till the play clock shuts off and tells you, hey, this is what they're in, this is what we're going to do. You're not doing that right now. So I would just tell you to pump the brakes. I think Jimmy G is going to be fine. There's no question he's got a great skill set, and he's got a great coach to take him along that path. So for everybody that's hitting the panic button, I would say stop right now and let it play out.
The only thing I'll say, everybody's playing preseason football right now, and I'm seeing Daniel Jones complete passes. I'm seeing Dak complete passes.
You got the injury now, and he got live bullets now. It's not practice anymore. It's not, no one's going to fall into your knee. The last play that you showed, he got hit on the back and actually stumbled on his front.
Well, you don't have the body of work to give him the benefit of the doubt. And you also can't start his career with a reference point post-injury because the expectations are so great because of that contract. If he continues on this trajectory, and I know it's the preseason, I get it, but when you don't have a body of work,
you're panicking after one preseason game.
No. I forget. Before he got hurt,
okay,
people were like, "Was that the right deal?" Then he gets hurt, so we paused that. Okay. Now, bad practice performances. Who cares? Then it
really?
No, I say who cares until they translate into the game.
Okay,
and then it's like, okay, and now you have this contract. The elephant in the room is we have you on a team-friendly deal. The Kaepernick deal, which sounds great in big numbers, but if you dive into those details, a lot of exit strategies for the team. Okay. So if he doesn't step up, injury or not, you know how the game is.
No question.
This is going to be one and done.
Which is fine. I will tell you this. The report on the practice situation. I sat, like you and I are sitting right here and talked to John Lynch on Friday. general manager of the San Francisco 49ers. What's that?
No, perfect. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I sat and talked to him. He said he's been great in camp. He had one horrid practice. But I watched him on Friday. I sat there and watched him when a joint scrimmage on Friday against the Denver Broncos in a practice scenario cut up the Denver Broncos defense on Friday. Now, it didn't translate to the game. I get that.
He had a red jersey on, right?
Right. He did have a red jersey on, but still.
And that first interception
which goes to the point of this is the first time you've been in a game where you know you could get hit. Right. That's the mental hurdle that you're going to have to overcome as a quarterback. I think we're putting, from an expectation standpoint, we're putting a ton on him because he got paid. I get that. Mm-hmm. But I think right now, as far as that one performance, you have to also remember this is the Broncos' third preseason game. So it was their second preseason game, the first one he played in. So the Broncos are ahead from a defensive standpoint of what they put in, planning, also the blitz stuff that they brought.
I'm going to go back to Kawhi Leonard and what I felt like we learned from Kawhi Leonard. Things leak for a reason. If people don't want information out there, it doesn't come out there. So, again, somebody throwing 5 interceptions in practice, you normally don't hear about it. They throw 2, you don't hear about 3. Someone wanted this information out there, and it got out there. I'm not sure how.
Well, the practices are open, and so he went 5 straight plays in a row where he threw interceptions.
That's unprecedented.
And all that.
That's hard to do. That's hard to do
if they do that in Pee Wee. I mean, that's really – and so I just think that discussion, and then when I start hearing veteran reporters like a Peter Schrager start mentioning, they can get out of this deal. They really like Nicky Mullins.
But think about this. If he didn't have that bad game, you wouldn't have heard about the interceptions.
No, we heard about.
No, we heard it before.
Yeah. Let me help you out here. Look, James.
I'm trying to help you.
Hey, look, I know.
This is not time to panic to me. I gotta help my point, right?
I've been away from the game for a long time, so help me out here. Is 0.0 a good passer rating or a bad one? Yeah, that part. You know why? You never want to see somebody who has $127 million on the books, and he throws for a 0.0. No way, no how. Like, you got to get a back.
Preseason game number 3, if he comes out and cuts it up, then I want you guys to come in here and give it a public apology right here.
I have no problem because I'm going to say this thing. When he went 5-0, I was singing his praises. I was giving him the money, love him. I watched those games. Yeah. And people can say, there were teams that didn't care, didn't take San Francisco seriously. No, I watched him and was impressed. But then he got paid. And I've seen people change after they get paid. I've seen them that's the finish line, not the start line. And again, so we don't know what this dude is made of. What we do know, and we blame Tom Brady, but what we do know is Bill Belichick let him go. And I haven't seen Bill Belichick let too many guys go that can really play.
Well, the thing for me
Chandler Jones?
Well, no. A lot of defensive players.
Mayo.
A lot of players. Richard Seymour.
We keep going.
There's a lot of players. I don't want to go to that part.
Yeah. Who's quarterback that got benched? Who's that guy? Best quarterback in football?
Drew Bledsoe, $100 million man.
Come on now.
All right. New information deserves a new assessment. So I will change with the wind with Jimmy G, specifically because I can't trust his body of work. Typically, when you have a guy with a body of work, a resume, you lean towards the resume even during down times when they hit a rough patch. When he hits a rough patch, it might be telling. It might be defining of who he really is. And the rough patch didn't start last night. It didn't start post-injury. It started before the injury. We have to take that into consideration.
He didn't have enough time before the injury to try and get out of that rough patch. Maybe he could have got out of it. You haven't seen that either. That's a possibility.
He's thrown 361 passes in his career. That's like Matthew Stafford half of a regular season. Like 8 games of Matthew Stafford is this guy's entire body of work. So when you grade him, not how you want to, but how they will, how the real assessment will come based on that contract and based on 361 passes, I don't know why we leaning positive. We don't know. It's a question mark, and everything you do is going to be a new
I'm not leaning positive. I'm just not leaning negative. I'm not saying it's time to panic and throw everything out the window. You want to go ahead and throw him to the dogs and see what
$127 million, the cages are open. You know that.
They can't get out of it till after next year anymore.
This looks like a bigger Matt Flynn deal. And Matt Flynn had less work. He didn't have 8 games or whatever, but I'm sorry. And again, I loved him during that 5-0 stretch. I agreed with their decision to pay him. I thought he was can't miss. I see a guy now, the first 2 games last year, or 2.5 games, it wasn't the same. And you know, look, I think Kyle Shanahan did a terrific job with Matt Ryan, but, you know, I saw him struggle with Donovan McNabb, and you can blame that on Donovan McNabb. I wasn't the biggest Kirk Cousins guy. I thought he put up numbers, but I didn't think they were winning. And so, you know, he's allegedly built his reputation off Kirk Cousins and still in love with Kirk Cousins. I just don't think Kyle Shanahan's infallible, and I don't know if this is going to be an easy fix. The guy's got a banged-up knee, and he's got a bunch of money in his pocket, and, you know, he's comfortable running around with porn stars.
I don't mind that part. What did Nino Brown say in New Jack City to G Money? Don't be worried about keep your mind on the money. Stay focused on what's more important.
I will tell you this, though.
A lot of great players have messed around.
He is an elite level thrower of the football. He really is. His talent level is great. Now, does everything else? I mean, we've seen a lot of times. James Harrison got cut a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen a lot of guys that have elite level talent level that can't play. And then we've seen guys that have worked their butts off and become Hall of Famers.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.